Alright, I'm going to show you a few of the things that you need to know when prototyping circuits on a breadboard. So the first thing that we need to see is our breadboard consists of a couple of different sides, and they're basically exactly the same. First we have a positive sign and a negative sign, and so what happens is the current when we put a power source into our breadboard runs clear down this entire column. Alright, and so that current is running down this column. The same thing with the negative side. The current is running down that column. If we skip over to the field where we're going to actually prototype, you see that the rows are labeled by a number and the columns are labeled by a letter. In this, across here, these rows are all the current will run straight through that row. It will not jump sides, so it'll run A through E. And so over here on this side, the current runs this way. In the field, the current runs this way. All right. The next thing that we need to take a look at is our variable power supply. And so here is what your variable power supply looks like. If I go ahead and turn it on, the first thing that I'm going to want you to do while you're doing this little demo here is go ahead and turn the current, which is the top knob, turn it all the way to the right. So what we're doing is we're turning the current all the way up. And the next thing you're going to want to do is turn the voltage now. We're going to turn it up until we get a measurement or a voltage of about 2 volts. Okay, and so that is the voltage that we're going to use with the current all the way up. 2 volts, current all the way up. And the reason why you want to keep this at 2 volts or right around 2 volts is because we are going to be prototyping or going over some of the basics of how the breadboard works, and we're going to use these LED lights to help us. If you have more than 2 volts in that, you're very likely going to burn up that LED. Alright, so let's go back and look at our breadboard again. The first thing I'm going to do is I have 2 power supply wires. They're stripped on either end. I'm going to place the first one into the black lead. I'm going to put the red one into the red. Then I'm going to take these wires here that are on the ends, and I'm going to place them in the breadboard. And so our power in is going to come right here in the breadboard, so I'm just going to go to the top and I'm just pushing the wire into the breadboard. I'll do the same thing for the negative wire. Push it right into the breadboard. What I want you to notice now is a couple of things that we have to know about these LEDs first. And it's kind of hard to see like that. Let me show it to you like this. The LED has 2 leads. It has a long lead, that's the positive lead, and it has a short lead, which is the negative lead. And so let me show you that. This short lead should always go into the negative side or it won't work. The long lead will go into the positive side. And so when I have that, I can see how the flow should light up your LED. It goes straight down these 2 columns, and so the power is going in through the positive side, coming up through the LED, going down through the negative side, and coming back into the power supply to complete the circuit. And so if you just plug a few LEDs in, you can see that they light up, and that's how that works. A lot of times when we prototype, we will use what are called jumper wires, and so in our case this is just going to be a short wire like this. Again, we'll place it, I'll take it somewhere out of that positive column and I'll go to the field. So in my case I'm putting it into row 13. Then I can place that LED light anywhere in that row. So I'm going to put the positive leg, the longer leg, into that same row, the negative leg, and then I can bring this back over, and so the negative leg is in row 12, and so I'm going to put another jumper wire in row 12, and I'm going to put it back to the negative side. And when you do that, the LED should light up. All right, again, if you have them flipped, the LED will not light up, but if you have the negative lead on the negative side, it will light up. And so what I want to show you with that is now the electricity is flowing to this jumper wire out of this column and over into row 13, and it's traveling all the way down row 13. The current is going up through our LED, through the negative side of the LED, out of this jumper wire, and back through here to complete the circuit. So again, I can plug another LED in and it'll light up the same way. That's basics of how the breadboard works. It works again by a system where all of these rows are connected and all of the columns are connected. And so let's say I put it over here, it doesn't light up, put it over here, it doesn't light up. But if it's in row 13, the positive, and row 12, the negative, where these wires are supplying the power, these jumper wires, it works. And again, please make sure you don't put more than 2 volts into your LED or you will burn it up and it'll start smoking.